There has always been an issue with good customer service here in Grenada. There's even a calypso about it. And sometimes you enter an establishment and the employees stare at you like you're an alien. Of course, customer service, employee interacting with customers. From my experience, I see a different side to things. Of course, yes, customers, employees interaction. My experience has been with how managers treat employees who have to then interact with customers. And it has not been too good. I came across a quote by Stephen Covey which said, treat your employees in the way in which you would like them to treat your best customers. In this interview, I speak with Masha Phillip. She has a customer service consultancy business. Here is our conversation.
One of the things, like I always say from the beginning, if you do not want to be in this industry where you have to serve others, you really shouldn't, because we all have a lot going on, at home with our families, with other things. And sometimes people take that to the job, and then the customers are affected because of the way the employees feel or so on. But we have to know, okay, we decided to get into this industry. We know life is not perfect, but then at the end of the day, we need to know how to separate. I know it's not just simply, you can't just forget what's going on, but you need to be strong, real enough, and have it's a attitude you need to have, and you need to be considerate, because you're doing a job. You decided you will do that job. You let the employers or whoever know that they can have confidence in you to do that job. So you have to go out there and show up and do that job, not just for yourself necessarily, but because there are persons depending on you. Your employers are depending on you. Your customers are depending on you. So because those persons are depending on you, and you decided that you were going to come up, you were going to show up and do that job, then you should come and you should show up and you should do the job. Um, yes, we have the things going on, but some things you just have to go on the back burner until you're out of your 8 to 4 job or whatever it is you're doing, until your shift is finished. Then you take up that mantle of what it is going on at home, or
Do
what
you
it is.
have, sorry, do you have
Oh, sorry.
any tools or any ideas as to help someone who is dealing with maybe an abusive partner or troubled children, and in the morning getting all of that out of your head to start your job or whatever time is your shift? Do you have any
Mhm.
tools to help someone in that area?
Um, Try to build, one of the things is try to build their self-confidence, so doing like affirmations or visualizations. One of the things I did was visualizing myself where I want to be. um well, I guess I could. One of it has not been easy for me. A few years ago, I went through a very depressing period, the lowest point of my life, where it got to the point where I actually overdosed on sleeping pills. Okay. So this was a very low point in my life, but there were persons depending on me. There were my family members, my kids, my job. Everyone was depending on me. But at that point, I couldn't see the value in myself. My self-esteem was extremely shattered and so on. And I got to this point where I overdosed on sleeping pills, and then thankfully I survived, and then I had to rise out of that. And what I decided to do, with help, of course, I seek professional help. So with
Mm.
the professional help, I had to do some things for myself. So some of the things I started to do was visualize where I want myself to be. So I had to visualize the education, visualize the business, visualize my kids going to university and stuff. But I also had to work on myself. So I started reading some self-help books. And one of the main thing I started to do was exercising. I love going to the beach. The beach has always been a therapy for me. So sometimes I will just go down to the beach and run or walk or whatever, just to get it out. I remember sometimes I will go down to the beach and I'll be so frustrated, I'll just scream, at the top of my lungs, just feeling like I just need to get all the weight off. So some
Yes.
people just have to do different things. So for me, it was seeking professional help, visualization of where I want to be in the future, and then taking care of myself, not just mentally, but physically, in terms of the exercising and so on. So those are some things that some people can do if they have a lot going on. You just have to figure out what works for you, because the beach may work for me, but probably you going to a gym or taking walks or, playing a sport or something might work for you. But and if you can seek professional help, maybe somebody close to you that you can trust, that will, you will have your back. Some people, they turn to their pastors, some people turn to particular family members, or some people have really good friends or so on. But if they could find somebody to speak to that will just have their back and, help be the support system that they need at that particular time to help them rise out of whatever issue it is that they're going on. I think that will be good, because that's what worked for me. So that's what I can speak on. So I think that is some of the things that can help persons.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
And I am hoping, and I don't want to assume. I continue along that road with the visualization, the
Hmm.
exercise, the affirmations, because I know.
Yes,
Okay. Um,
yes.
you spoke earlier about experiencing great customer service when you traveled for your work in Europe and
Hmm.
so on. Give me an example of one of those.
Um, an example.
When you
An
got
ex-
really good customer service and you're like, yes, this is what I need in Grenada.
yes. So when one of my last travels to Europe, we when we got to England, they had storms and so on, so all the flights were grounded. We were not able to get our foreign trip from England to Italy at the time, so we had to stay at a hotel. But so everything, the time we were supposed to get to our hotel, to check in Italy, everything was thrown off. But then we had to end up. I was traveling with a group of persons from school. We had to all separate and get different flights in, going various ways in order to get to Italy. And I remember when we finally got there, the person at the front desk, we showed up there, was me and the lecturer at the time. Some of the other students had to go other places to try to get there. And we showed up there so late at night. And the guy at the reception desk, he was still very welcoming. They still knew who we were, and they were like, "Oh, we've been expecting you." And the room that I got was an upgrade than what I was actually
Dang.
expecting. And I remember he gave me like little candies and so on. And it was just really nice. So we came late, about 2 days later than we were actually supposed to be there, but they were still expecting us. We still got the service that you know to just make us feel comfortable, because for us that was like a totally new place. First time being there and everything, and thinking they would not remember us, everything will go haywire and so on. But it just worked out really well. So that was a good experience. That was one of them that I could just think of really fast. There are a few more, but sometimes when you're on the spot you can't always think.
Okay, so
Yeah.
talking about customer service, right? We
Hmm.
know that the employees, it is their duty to provide, um, be welcoming to guests. So when we walk into a store in St. George's and they just look at you up and down, like if you know what you're doing in there.
Yeah, like you're disturbing them.
Yes, or they sit down on their phone and they look up at you like, and you're like,
Yes.
okay, what should I do? And then you might go look at something and they might just shoops. And,
Hmm.
and you're
I
like, what
know.
the heck? So,
Exactly.
but I'm just saying that a lot of the focus is on the employees, right?
Hmm.
However, what I've found and I've experienced it myself is that a lot of it has to do with managers. Now, if you have managers treating employees the way they would like their best customers to be treated, that's a quote from Stephen Covey,
Hmm.
you would be in good business. However, many managers don't treat their employees like that. I have experienced it.
I know that.
And then because you know your job is in customer service, you have to put a
Hmm.
smile on your face and do your job.
Yes.
However, the managers are treating you like worse than animals, because I've seen that people treat the animals like
Better.
babies, like
Hmm.
really good. Okay.
Yes.
And so it's a two-edged sword. If you want me to treat your customers well as an employee, You should treat me with respect.
Exactly. That is why I have one of my training. Remember, I spoke about the different trainings that I offer, like communication, customer loyalty, and
Mm-hmm.
so on.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is your staff as your first customer. You
Mm-hmm.
have to treat your staff well so that they will treat the customers well. You have to be respectable to your staff. You have to, when you're respectable to them, they will respect their customers. You have to trust your staff. You have to give your staff the necessary information that they need so they can provide their job. So if you have a sales going on, your staff need to know about it. If you have whatever it is, something is not available, you need to let your staff know about it. You need to treat your staff as people. You need to treat them as humans and not just persons that are there just to do your grunt work. They are not robots. So if you treat them disrespectfully, if you do not trust them, if you're not kind to them, they will retaliate. They will feel, they will
Mm-hmm.
feel whatever. They will feel hurt. They will feel disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
and that will reflect on the way that they will treat their employees. But if you treat your staff well, you're respectable to them, you trust them, you give them the necessary information, the necessary tools and resources that they need to perform their job, then they will treat the customers well. And that's why I always try to get the managers involved in my training as well, because I don't want to be giving the staff all the information on how they should treat the customers, and then the employees, the managers have no idea. So then when the staff are trying to to carry out some of the things that I tell them to do in order to carry the great customer service, then the employers are stopping them, because they're saying that is not what we do or that is not how we do things. So I prefer to have everybody in the training so that they're all getting the information so they know it doesn't just start from the staff and goes to the customers, but it starts from the top and to go right all the way down to the customer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good point. But I want to ask you, you've worked in hospitality.
Hmm.
Have you experienced bosses who were just so mean? If you were in the kitchen, use a cleaver.
Yes, I have. I have. There are so much. I had this one particular boss, and I'm telling you, there are so much times I had to hold my tongue. He was so disrespectful, and he figure because he's the boss of the place, he can talk to you anyhow he wants to, anywhere he wants to. So if he wants to embarrass you and talk down to you in front of customers, then that is what he's going to do. And there are so much times I just had to hold my tongue, and I'm like, Lord, give me the strength. Lord, give me the strength. Let me not cuss this man. You understand? So I definitely know what it's like, and a lot of the times I'm like, okay, you know what? I need this job at the moment. It will not last forever. I need this job. I had to remind myself of why I was there and why not to disrespect the man and to show myself as the bigger person at the end. I mean, yes, it wasn't my place, but in terms of respect and how I treat persons, I know I was the bigger person in that instance, because it's not just me he treated that way, he treated other employees that way as well. It was very disrespectful. I figure when they think you're beneath them or something, or
Yes.
I feel sometimes like they had the attitude like they don't really need you, so they could treat you however they want, because you're just some kind of employees. But we're the ones that are there facing the customers, dealing with the customers to bring that money into your business that you want. And then you're giving us those type of services. And I remember sometimes customers will come and they'll be like, oh, your boss seems really nice. Do they treat you nice? And they'll ask us, do you guys get a really good salary? And I'm like, Lord, how do I answer some of these questions? Because I know they're looking to hear something good, but I know the answer is not good, you know? So, I
I would
mean,
divert. Would you like to speak with our boss? Ask him.
yeah, I had to come up with all kind of things, and a lot of times I'm like, it's really good, I'm comfortable with it, I had to make all these little white lies sometimes.
I,
I
I
know it.
had I had an experience where I was setting up a shoot, and the person in charge, I was trying to make sure everything was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in front of the camera people, honey, I didn't touch the person. Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me.
Oh,
And the
Lord.
way I was looked at is as if I was beneath anything
Yeah.
that was nasty, or I was looked at as though I was filth. And
Mm-hmm.
the camera people looked at me like, this is what you have to put up with? And I just kept my mouth shut and I said, okay, I have to take care of my daughter. I have to pay my bills. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna, I'm not gonna do anything. Just be like Zen and be
Yes,
like, okay,
I
okay,
know.
okay.
I
And I was
know.
like, And then I learned I was not the only one who was treated like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, this is not a one-off situation. This
No,
is
it's not.
something. So that I have experienced it, and I know many people who have. And I can say to the fact that um, if you want people to treat your customers well, you have to treat your employees well.
Yes,
Many a times
definitely.
I was treated nastily, but honey, this space was smiling and she was doing her job. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I was doing the same thing, because there are sometimes, as I said, I was a waitress, and there are sometimes, I'll have to go serve the boss, so I'll go and put the food on the table, and the wife will watch me in a way, watch me up and down, and I will feel like, like
Mhm.
I don't know, like if I turned her stomach or something, the way
Yes, you wonder. I was like, what did I do? When I got that reaction, I
exactly.
was like, what the hell? I didn't touch you, lady. I did not touch you. I was just
Mm-hmm.
making sure that everything was prim and proper because camera takes out everything, you
Yeah,
know? And
I
I
know
was
what
just
it's
like,
like.
since after that, I was like, I don't want anything to do with you. Just come what I have to do, and then that's it.
Yep. That's why we have to be professional. One of the attitudes of
Yes.
attributes of great
Yes.
customer service is being professional. So it doesn't matter what they had thrown at me. I always tried to remain professional until more than once, customers will ask me, they'll be like, "Oh, are you one of the managers?" And I'm like, "No, no, I'm not."
Yeah, I got that a lot. I got a lot, but
Yeah.
no. The fact of the matter is the way you treat people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think customer service, a lot of it is pushed on the employees. I'm going to go back to this, but a lot of managers have to realize that the employees are human beings.
Yes. Yes. They
And
have to.
it's lost. It's like, it's as if it's slavery again, or do as I say, and they bark at you and
Exactly.
you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what did I do to deserve this?
Yes.
you know? And then you start to question yourself, you question your worth, you question who you are. And then I'm like, no, baby, this here is that, okay? Ain't
Mm-hmm.
nobody gonna touch this. I
I
didn't
know.
disrespect you, and that's it.
Yeah. They definitely have to realize that, because if they want their businesses to survive, they want their businesses to have good reputations out there, then they need to know how to treat their staff, because they have to remember word of mouth marketing. It does not only
Yes.
happen through the customer, but it also happens through the
Through the
staff. They will go out
employees.
there and they will speak about you, because I know staff, they will tell you, don't go and work in that place. That boss not nice.
Yes.
They don't treat people nice. Their attitude stinks.
Yes.
They don't pay well. So, I mean, when the customers hear that, they may want to boycott that place too, because of the way people treat their employees and not because of the service necessarily. So they have to know, because the word of
Mm-hmm.
mouth marketing will go there. People will go out there and they will speak about it, and they have to remember the staff will speak about it as well.
Mm-hmm.
The staff
And
will
ears
speak
are
about it.
listening. Ears are listening when you don't
Mhm.
think they are. You
Yes,
understand?
that's one thing, because I mean, I will go out sometimes and we will like go to a restaurant or something, and we're sitting there, and sometimes we can hear the conversations that the staff is having with each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, they're listening. So they may not be talking to us sometimes, but sometimes we hear what they're saying, and then when we hear it, like, Lord, that's the way they treat the people. I'm not coming back here at all.
Exactly.
And then you have to be
Exactly.
scared, because imagine you're in a
Exactly.
restaurant and then you hear that the servers are upset or something, then you're wondering, Lord, I
What's
wonder
in my
what went
food?
exactly, you know? So then you're scared to even eat the food, and you're scared to go back in the place. So they listen, managers and owners and so on of establishment, they really need to know how to treat their employees. They need to come to my training as well. That's why I focus on it. Your staff as your first customer, they are the first customers. They're the ones that you have to treat, because we have the in-house customers and the outside customers. Your staff are your in-house customers. They're the one experiencing everything firsthand, and what you give
Mm-hmm.
them is what they will give to the customers.
I think maybe you should have a special training for managers. Target them.
Yes, I do.
Seriously. The reason being is that there is still that slavery mentality. Let's
Yeah.
be real. I am the
Hmm.
master and you are the slave.
Yeah.
They
Well, the
don't
staff
see
are
us
your
as
first
human
customer one.
beings. They don't see us as equal human beings. Granted, you're the
Mhm.
manager, the general manager, the managing director, whatever position you hold. I
Yeah,
respect your position, but as a human being, we're human beings. You got blood, I got blood. Okay?
exactly.
I don't care if you're white, pink, yellow, orange. We're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, how you treat me, and I purposefully, from my experience, I distance myself from that person.
Mm-hmm.
When the person tried to be very saccharine afterwards, sweet, sweet and nice all the
Yes.
time. And I was like, nope, don't want, just do my job and that's it. And one of
Mm-hmm.
the things I always said is that with that person is that person would try to be saccharine with me, but nasty to other people. And I'm like, no, if you, the analogy that I used, if you're nasty to me, if you're nice to me and nasty to the waiter, how long is it before you treat me like the waiter? If I was in the
Yeah.
waiter's position, how long would it, so I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
something's going on here. I don't understand you. Either you need psychological help, whatever help, get it, but you're not gonna use me or manipulate
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Simple like that. That was my understanding of the situation. And I was like, nope, I do what I come to do. That's it. Goodbye.
Yeah. And it's not really, I don't think it's really nice when the employees get to the point where that's how they feel, I just come there, do what I have to do and get out. It's all about getting my pay at the end of the day because
It's
the
yeah,
treatment is not nice.
yeah,
Because then if
it's
you break down, the service you give will not be, it will not be the 100%, it will not be what you want to do. You will not be doing the best for your customers. You will not upsell the thing. You will not you will not try to follow up on the customers, all these extra things that you can do to bring up
mm-hmm,
the customer service
mm-hmm,
level. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't have the zeal or the energy or, the
Masha
encouragement to do
girl,
those type of things.
Masha girl, when the lady go, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And she looked at me as that was, I wouldn't use the word, it's an S word, like lower
Mm-hmm.
than that, even. I was like, dang, does she think this is gonna rub off on her? What is it? I wasn't disrespectful. I just came up to make sure everything was perfect. And the camera people were like, girl, I don't want to be in your shoes. And I
I
was just
know.
like, I gotta take care of my kid. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's, yeah.
So I know I've experienced it and I've seen other people experience it.
Yes. I
So
know.
that's why I would like for every time you hear about customer service, they throw it in the face of the employees. The
Yeah,
managers need to take stock.
exactly.
I grew up hearing that if a fish rotten, it starts from the head or whatever. I heard that being said all around me. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong. If it's rotting from the head. So if you got problems, you're rotting from the head. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you need to clear that space.
Yeah.
So
Yes, you need to.
I would like to suggest, as someone in customer service, create a system for managers.
Oh yeah, I do. The one I speak about as your staff, as your first customer, that one is
Yes,
tailored for managers.
yes.
Managers and supervisors and so on. That one is tailored for them because they're the one that need to know how to treat the staff.
Mhm. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we could go on and on about that because I am as an employee, as an ex-employee, and well, looking for work myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would like whomever I'm working with to know I'm a human being, and I would
Yes.
treat you as a human being. But if it comes to a point where you're treating me less than a human being, you might be treated as less than a human being as well, or I might just have to
Mm-hmm.
go packing because I don't want to bring myself to that level. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah.
So I am really happy that you shared with me about customer service. Anything else you wanted to add?
No problem. It was my pleasure. I just want to remind people, when they're going out there and they're serving persons, they're the face of the businesses. They have to remember that they're representing the business. So what they say, what they do, what they act, whatever what any of the actions will reflect on the business. So the people, they will not go there and say Masha at this business, is horrible or whatever. They will just say, excellence consultancy or whatever is the name of the business. These people are horrible. They don't know how to treat people. They speak down to people. And it might just be a one-off incident. You have to be careful, if you're upset or something. You're upset, go in the background, stomp it out, cry it out, pound the wall if you have to, and then put that smile on your face and come back out. just remember what you're doing. You are the face of the customer. You're out there, people are seeing you. It might be the only time you get upset and you talk down to somebody, you talk down to your staff, you're rude to the customer. You just take one person. You just have to do it to one person and it will go out there. So I just want to remind people, to just be aware of that. They're representing not just themselves, but the businesses, and be careful of what they do, what they say, the way they act, because it just take one person to see that. And then social media, we have everything is going viral nowadays. So a video or a photo will be taken of you so fast and it's out there. And then you'll be like, oh my God, just this one
Did I
time.
do that?
Just the one time and it got out there. So you really have to be careful when you're representing not just yourselves, but if you're an entrepreneur, of course you're representing your business, or if you're working in an establishment, you're representing that business as well.
Thank you for viewing Serrano Mature Worlds. Please like, comment, and share. I am Serrano Michelle. Have a good one.